What up, peeps? We are back, and I thought it would be a cool idea just to do a roundup of ESBC news and updates. They've been sprinkling in some updates here and there on their social media, so let's go ahead and take a look and dive in. And let's get right into this in-game model of Tyson Fury. Now, this render looks great. So much detail, from the cheekbones to the nose. That's pretty much spot on. And overall, just the shape of the jaw as well looks just like Tyson Fury. There's no denying it. The team over at ESBC is just doing a great job. This render of Tyson Fury looks crazy. I've also seen a lot of people comparing this model to the Tyson Fury model in UFC 4. And when you put them side by side, I see resemblances a little bit, but when it comes to the overall detail, it's not even close. ESBC has a major W with this one. And I think this was smart for them to release this image. One, because it's Tyson Fury, who's on top of the heavyweight division right now. And two, it creates a lot of buzz because of the quality of this render. It looks really dope. Can't wait to see even more renders as they become available. Even of the female fighters, that's one thing that we haven't seen any renders of any of the female fighters that they have on their roster. I would think that would be next up to bat. They also showed a progression image for Conor Benn. It's kind of like a render timeline that displays different points of progression when they are creating the model. It shows kind of like a grayscale and then goes through them adding the skin color, all the different detail. And it looks like the final image may be a little bit more refined, but then again, it looks like this final image looks a little dry compared to the image where this one looks like he built up a sweat a little bit more in this image. It's a little bit more shiny, I would say. But it's pretty cool just to see this progression. That's cool that they shared this. Kind of like a timeline for the model overall, and as you see it going through its progression. Now, they also shared a short clip on Twitter, and it displays one of my favorite punches, the stab jab. And the caption reads, "Sometimes the stab jab is just what you need to create a little room to work." This is really dope because this is a punch I often saw Floyd Mayweather throw, and it's a great punch to take the wind out of your opponent. And like they said, it's going to create that room, give you some space, knock your opponent off balance a little bit. And look at Okoli. He did not like that shot at all. Okoli is probably thinking, look, me and Lyndon could never be friends after that shot. That looks painful. I really love that punch. That punch could definitely be a weapon used quite often. So that's really dope that they showcased that. For a second there, I thought this was part of the gameplay trailer, but I looked at Lyndon Arthur's trunks, and he's wearing different trunks in this clip. So they captured and clipped this probably from a totally different reel. So this is actually a new shot that we have not seen before. Now we got another fighter announcement video, and here comes Todd Grisham. Where in the world is he now? He is in the Netherlands, and he has a big announcement. Now, we've had several fighter announcements, and we already have a loaded roster. Who else can they announce to build up some hype? Well, of course, they could announce like a Mike Tyson or Shane Mosley. A lot of other fighters, right? Well, they hit us off with ferocious Fernando Vargas. Vargas was one of my favorite fighters. I loved watching his fights. This dude is tough. That fight with Ike Quartey was a war and very entertaining. So glad to have him a part of the roster. This is really good news. And they also announced hard-hitting Michael Nunn. Wow, this roster is getting ridiculous. Mike McCallum was also announced, another excellent fighter out of Jamaica, just adding more representation from different countries and just regions around the world. Another great addition. Israel Vasquez and Rafael Marquez, great fighters, both went to war in all of their fights. 4 times they fought. I watched every fight. Yes, I was Team Vasquez. Both fighters did very well though. Mad props to both of them. I love those fights. Can't wait to replay that in ESBC. And then they threw a wild card in here, literally. Ricardo Mayorga is in the game. You can't game plan for this dude. He's too wild and has a solid chin. Another great addition. And Emmanuel Augustus? Wow. This roster is just getting ridiculous, and I really hope they can mimic his many styles. This dude fought so many different styles. He was so skilled. I'd like to see them include several movesets to display the Drunken Master style. That would really be nice. And to top it off, we have some new trainers, Floyd Mayweather Sr. and Jeff Mayweather. I love Floyd and Jeff both as coaches, but I also like the fact that they're so close to Floyd Mayweather. So, I mean, just signing them alone, having that connection with Floyd Mayweather Jr. is not a bad thing. It could lead to some conversations that could possibly lead to including Floyd Mayweather in the game. You never know. Just that I love the fact that they have them in as coaches. And the bonus is that connection with Floyd Mayweather Jr. That's awesome. And that's it, peeps, for your ESBC roundup. There's a lot of different news that was sprinkled here and there, so we wanted to kind of put this together in one video. Are you excited about these fighters that came out of this fighter announcement video? What do you think about the stab jab? Is that a punch that you're a fan of? What do you think about the Tyson Fury render? What other fighters do you want to see renders of? And be sure to also support us, like, share, and subscribe. And as usual, we're going to keep you up to date on everything sports gaming. And that's it, peeps. You know what it is. Until next time, Gia.